Frank!
Ah! Jesus? Is that you?
No, it's me, Paul.
Oh, hi, Paul. You scared me.
What are you doing?
What does it look like I'm doing? I'm trying to light this pipe.
Shouldn't there be something in it to light?
Is that how that works?
Whatever. As a disembodied voice, I have a question for you. Do you think that video games are art?
Actually, I think they're a business.
You greedy corporate sellout.
Video games are a product. Someone sells them and others buy them. You can liken them to movies whose sole goal is to sell tickets and DVDs. I mean, sure, there's an element of artistic expression, but they're corporate made and designed. They're tested by focus groups and made to market.
That's very cynical.
Well, I try.
Video games are a form of art, there's no denying that. Play the game Ni no Kuni, which blends traditional hand-drawn animation with modern CG and video game graphics. It's an emotional, powerful tale that is art in even the most pure form.
But how many copies did it sell? That's what the developer and the publisher really want to know. And do you think they partnered with Studio Ghibli just to make art, or to sell copies?
Why can't they do both? Sure, they made money off of it, but the great painters sold their pieces for money as well, and no one says that paintings aren't art.
Well, let me continue with my movie comparison, because I think it'll be helpful.
You're a big Michael Bay fan, aren't you?
That's a little below the belt. Companies exist to make a profit. That's the long and the short of it. What? What's so funny?
Nothing, go ahead.
Games are market tested. Their financials are analyzed. It's just like the movies. In fact, some games have budgets rivaling big blockbusters. I mean, if you look at Destiny, it's estimated to be worth $500 million. That's not chump change, that's a lot. There's a company that wants to make money off of it. That's why they're investing so much.
You say that movies are products. Does that mean a movie stops being art when it's sold?
Well, I insist it's an artistic product. It's something artful but sold for a profit by a company. Some of these products, they're more products than art.
Like your beloved Transformers movies.
Every time you say that, an 80s movie character dies.
But one day, an Autobot shall rise from our ranks.
Great, you killed him.
Optimus!
Some movies are more art than products, like Citizen Kane. It was a big flop in its time, but is now widely recognized as one of the greatest movies ever made, if not the greatest movie ever made.
I see where you're going. So you insist that video games are along the same lines. Games like Halo, where beautiful environments and religious or philosophical truths are explored. They may be artistic, but they were still made to sell. A good example would be The Path. A game developed by Tale of Tales is based around 6 sisters, and is the retelling of many different variations of Little Red Riding Hood. A lot of people would consider this game to be a product of artistic expression, and storytelling through exploration. As you play through the game as each one of the 6 sisters, you're going to find areas and items corresponding to each. The goal of the game is to discover what the story is behind each individual sister by means of finding these triggers, which are incredibly vague but symbolic in their own way, often telling stories of greed, regret, innocence, pain, loss, and fear, all of which you can describe as your big bad wolf. This game was made to be a means of artistic expression and is used to convey a meaning bigger than itself. It was made to be meaningful and artistic. The game itself, however, is sold for profit, and I find that to be an alright thing. If anything, I feel as though a game with a meaningful artistic expression is put into the market, it should cost a bit more than a regular game should for its contribution.
I love games like Journey and Brothers, and find them to be artistic, but they were sold for a profit and paid somebody's paycheck. There are bigger fish out there, and I think a lot of hate is directed at AAA titles. mostly because they seem so shallow and corporate ready. And maybe they are. But that doesn't make video games any less of an art form than movies. I mean, movies are just as manufactured.
You know, I made that bet before I knew you, Lainey. Before I really knew me.
I just think that many players who ask whether video games are art misses the point. And maybe they haven't even properly defined art in the first place. People so readily accept paintings, drawings, and sculptures, but not movies, TV shows, and video games.
Sounds like we're in agreement on video games being both art and business.
Sounds like it.
But you never did define what you think art is.
You're right, and I hope I never have to.
In reality, you have no good definition.
Yeah.
Works for me. Step it!
Thanks to Paul from Super Pawsitive. If you haven't checked out his channel, I highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for more videos. Leave a comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching.